a rundown in just one moment. I don't have an intro. I don't know what I'm supposed to use because I usually don't do the things. I guess I'll just play this.
Welcome to the Fanatical Elves Show, part of the Elves Network. We are a bunch of wild and crazy Cleveland Browns fans, bringing you all the latest in Browns news. Tune in now.
Oh, you can make it fade out if you just do it yourself. Cool. Well, anyway, welcome to Fanatical Elves post-game show. It's me right now. We will have other people here in just 1 second. Jeffrey from YouTube, thank you for watching. Yes, I was going to get to that. I guess we'll start with that. Holding the Bengals, first of all, to 6 yards in the second half was very impressive. That was something that I was extremely impressed with, was seeing how poorly the Bengals defense, or Bengals offense, was holding up against the Browns defense, and specifically Myles Garrett. He was electric in that defensive stop where we almost got a safety. Like, we were literally just about 2 yards away from a safety. Burrow just got lucky with where he was positioning wise on the end zone and able to not get sacked there. So it was a very, very lucky play from him there. But Myles Garrett was just killing him. That was 2 sacks in one drive. He was just scaring him. It was amazing. But yes, the defense was incredible that game, holding what was one of the best offenses. Still probably is pretty decent, but that was not a good showing from them to 6 yards in the second half, which was very, very, very fun to see. Now, looking at the actual stats, let's start with Joe Burrow. Burrow was not very good. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great either. He was 14 for 23 for 113 yards and a touchdown. That's not good. He was not as productive as he probably would have liked to be. We did very well with holding the receivers down. Looking at it, we had all the receivers, right? T. Higgins, I guess we'll go there now. T. Higgins, 3 for 33. Noah Fant, 4 for 26 and a touchdown. Jamar Chase only had 2 receptions for 26 yards. And then Mike Gesicki with 1 reception for 14 yards. And yes, Jeffrey saying Mason Graham, he definitely didn't do as well as I would have hoped. But, he definitely seemed like a threat to the Bengals. They were definitely looking him down as someone who they had to worry about. So you are right in that point right there. But, again, it just was such a good defensive showing there. And it just fell apart with the offense. And it was really just the kickers that screwed us, right? We would have won 20-17 if we had hit those points there. And so it's just a very unfortunate game. And so looking at the Bengals defense, we'll go there now. We had an interception from Jordan Battle, a sack from BJ Hill. Trey Hendrickson was pretty good that game. He was scaring the Browns offensive line a few times there. He had a sack. And then the other interception came from DJ Turner II, who was your other interception with that bobbled ball by, I think it was Cedric Tillman, that bobbled that ball up for the final interception there on that drive. And so, again, very unfortunate. We'll talk about the whole not able to catch thing in a second. But Joe Flacco was actually really good that game. Let's say we disregard the 2 interceptions, which, while they weren't fully not his fault, they weren't really his fault. He could have placed the balls a little bit better. That's true, but they weren't his fault. They weren't exactly his fault. He still had some responsibility. And yes, Jerry Jeudy has to be better. That was a very unfortunate game from him. Just couldn't hang on to the ball. And it was very unfortunate to see him not being able to hang on to the ball like that. So hopefully, he does get better. And I have a feeling practice for the next few days is going to be, can you catch the football? The wide receiver coach is going to be drilling that into their heads. At least I hope he is, of practicing catching. So yes, Joe Flacco, 31 for 45 for 290 yards and a touchdown. Obviously, the 2 interceptions, which were partially his fault, not much, but were. So it's Obviously, very unfortunate to see that great stat line. I mean, it's not amazing, right? You would have liked another touchdown or two, but it's okay. It's a good stat line, marred by those two interceptions. And so running the ball, Dylan Sampson, while Dylan Sampson didn't actually have as good of a stat line as you might think, only 12 for 29, he felt really good in that game. He had some good runs, some good movement there. And I really liked how he was playing. I very much enjoyed. I think he's got a good potential now. Jerome Ford, Jerome Ford. It's hard because Jerome Ford didn't seem so bad, but he was 6 for 8. Like, it was not a good game for him. Joe Flacco had 6 yards somehow, and then Raheem Sanders was 3 for 3 and a touchdown on the ground. And yes, Joe Flacco was very good, and yeah, I mean, he was close to 300 yards. Yeah, he was only 10 yards off. Would have probably had it if our receivers could have, caught the ball. But looking at receivers, I want to talk about Harold Fannin Jr. for a second there. He was amazing. I mean, 7 for 63 yards. He had very good plays where he was dragging players along with him. I was very impressed with that. He seemed to have good physical strength, good route running. He was doing very well for the Browns there. He just was doing a lot of good showings for us, and I'm very proud. I mean, proud is the wrong word, but I was very glad to see how he was doing. Dylan Sampson, here's where he was better, 8 for 64 on the receiving side. Again, I was very impressed with him. I think he probably won himself the number one job because Jerome Ford, maybe not number one yet, but probably is in consideration now because Jerome Ford didn't produce what we wanted to see. And so, again, very impressed with that. Dylan Sampson had a great game. And, of course, we have to talk about Jerry Jeudy, 5 for 66. It was a bad game from him, yes. That the drops were very unfortunate. I would have liked to have seen him do better. I just didn't like to see his drops. He just couldn't hold on to the ball, and it was an unfortunate event simply because he's a good wide receiver. He just can't hold on to the football. So again, that's disappointing, but I can't say I'm all too surprised simply because Jerry Jeudy did have a lot of drops last year, but when the time came for him to hold on to the ball, he just couldn't get it. And so looking at the rest of the receivers, you had Cedric Tillman, 5 for 52 and a touchdown. That was a very good pass from Joe Flacco for that touchdown to Cedric Tillman. That was very impressive seeing everything that he did. Njoku was fine. I mean, he wasn't great, but he was 3 for 37. So, I mean, a half decent game. And then you had Jamari Thrash, 1 for 6, Isaiah Bond, 1 for 5. And then defensively, we want to look at this defense because they were very good in the defensive side of the ball. Myles Garrett, 2 sacks. He was a menace in that one drive. He was scaring. He was just punching through these offensive linemen. That was a very, very good showing from him there. And then, you look at people like Devin Bush. You had Isaiah McGuire with a sack. So it was good. The defensive secondary was also very good. I was very impressed with what they were doing. They were really locking down that very good set of wide receivers. I mean, not Jamari Thrash. Jamar Chase had a few moments there. You had T. Higgins with a few moments there. I was very impressed with the secondary. Yeah, no interceptions, unfortunately, which does suck. But the secondary played very well. The defensive line, played very well. So I was heartily impressed to see what the defensive secondary was doing with the receivers that they were dealt with. And yes, Jeffrey Tillman did step up. I was very happy because I did want him to succeed. He didn't really have a good shot last year, but I think he's doing better this year, and I'm very happy about that. And then that's the defense. So we'll look at team stats for a second. It was very biased towards the Browns. It was 141 yards for the Bengals offense. The Browns had 327, 95 passing yards to the Browns, 278. And see, that's what I mean. The defense was amazing. One of the best offenses in the league coming into this game had 141 total yards. Come on. Like, looking at it, 141 total yards is amazing on one of the best best offenses on paper coming into this game. So I was very, very happy to see that. That was a very impressive showing. 95 passing yards again for someone like Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. You're locking down that to 95 passing yards is amazing. That was a great showing, great effort. I'm very, very impressed with what they did there. Rushing, it wasn't really a rushing game. The Browns only had 49, the Bengals 46. Could have been better in the rushing, if I'm being honest, but it's hard to judge. And then, I mean, looking at the first downs, right? Bengals had 11 first downs. The Browns had 22. Browns were 9 for 16. Now, they had a very bad first down efficiency in the first half. It was like 1 for 6 or something. I think it was 1 for 5, actually. Very poor, but then they came back and they were like 7 for 9 in the second half. Bengals 7 for 14. You were 2 for 3 on fourth down. The Browns were 2 for 3 on fourth down. Bengals were 0 for 0. They didn't have any. You had a lot of plays from the Browns, 71. The Bengals only had 49. It just was something that felt like the Browns should have won this game, and they should have. We'll talk about the kicking in a second. But sacks allowed, Bengals. It was actually not very many sacks. Bengals only had 3. We had 2. Browns only had 2 punts, and that's really impressive. Only 2 punts. Now, yes, again, they had their fourth downs, they had the thirds, they had all this stuff going on, but 2 punts is very good. Bengals 6 punts. Penalty-wise, we were equal on penalties, but just not on yards. The Bengals had a lot of penalties because they kept taking delay of games, situational delay of games. I think they had 3 situational delay of games. 1 at the punt to the 2-minute, 1 in the 2-minute. I think they had 3, yeah. I think they had 3 punts for the 2 minutes. So, again, it just was an unfortunate showing there for the Browns' defense and offense not being able to get what they wanted done. And then fumbles, none, no fumbles for either side. Interceptions, Bengals had 0, but Browns obviously had 2 on the tipped balls that went into the air and got picked off. Great play, by the way. I will give it to the Bengals. Great situational awareness by the cornerbacks to be able to make that split-second decision and lock onto the ball and manage to grab it. That's very hard to do, especially in the heat of the game. So I must give it to them. That is quite impressive. I was very happy about that. And yes, Jeffrey, you weren't wrong. DeJuan Jones definitely had some problems there. He seemed decent, but his penalties were definitely a problem on a few of these plays. I feel like that could have obviously been better from him. But if he cleans up those penalties, I still think he's a very good part of our offensive line. So that's the stats for the game. Again, just very unfortunate the way the Browns were unable to make this game work, not being able to get the field goals and the extra point to win the game. It's super unfortunate because you had such a good showing from the Browns. You had a great defensive game. You had an amazing offensive game, and just not being able to collect that win is super unfortunate. But I mean, hey, this gives me confidence, right? I'll be honest. This gives me a lot of confidence going into the next game and the next game and the next game, being able to have this kind of defense, right? You can point to this and be like, hey, we held what was one of the best offenses paper-wise to 140 total yards. We let them have 6 yards in the second half. I mean, come on, guys. We did amazing in that game. It just didn't work out, and I think that is a very good aspect to point to. It's just saying, hey, look at these guys. We did amazing. We just weren't able to collect the win that we wanted. So I'm very confident in this team still. I think this can be chalked up to just bad luck and not being able to get the kicker and the 2 tip balls that just perfectly went in their way. So I think it was a very unfortunate game. But again, 1 loss is 1 loss. Let's not get so broken up that we're like it's the end of the season. It's a single loss. It's week 1. It's a singular loss. You've got 17 more weeks. It's okay. It's all right. You showed that your offense is really good. You showed that your defense is even better. I mean, your defense was amazing. If you can fix the kicker and if you can start catching balls, you've got something here. You've clearly got something. Not, will they win the Super Bowl? I don't know. But you've got 17 more weeks. This was just bad luck. It just didn't work out in your favor. Your kicker couldn't kick a field goal, and you got 2 interceptions that were just unlucky. And everything came together to just make the ball hard to catch for the receiver, and it just got tipped up in the air, and you got picked off. I mean, we still would have won, by the way. If we had hit that field goal, right, we would have won the game, regardless of those 2 interceptions. I'm very happy about this game. And I know that might seem strange. I know you might be thinking, what do you mean you're happy? We lost, and it was in horrible fashion. Yeah, but you proved yourself to being good. And yes, Jeffrey, I saw that score. That was a bad game from the Dolphins. It was a bad game from them. I mean, 33-8, the Colts beat the Dolphins. I mean, that was just a bad game from them. Very, very bad. So, yes, again, I like looking at this. I'll just give you a stat real quick. Tua Tagovailoa was 14 for 23 for 114 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. Like, again, you showed very well how good your team can potentially be. You had an amazing defensive outing. You had an amazing offensive outing. You got to look at it as it's one loss. It's not going to change anything. It's week 1, right? You want to get this type of stuff out week 1, right? You want to get the penalties out of the way. You want to get the drops out of the way. I'd rather get them out week 1 than week 16 when we're competing for the division, if that, of course, ever happened. So, again, I'm actually very happy about this game. I think this was a great game. It just didn't work out, and I think that is unfortunate, but that's the NFL. You have amazing games and it doesn't work out, right? I mean, you look at the Patriots. When they went undefeated and they just couldn't beat the Giants. You didn't do anything wrong through the whole season. You just couldn't get through that one team. And so it's a very unfortunate event. I'm very disappointed, sure, but I'm not going to be so negative about this game because we did things that I'm happy about. We did things that I'm proud about. We did a lot of good stuff in this game. And if you can hold the Bengals offense to 140 yards, which was, again, one of the best on-paper offenses in the league, who's saying we can't do it for the Ravens, who's saying we can't do it for any of these, right? Do you want the defense to start off slow, but at the end of the game you feel a lot better about it? I mean, you got to be careful about that if they start off too slow, right? If they start off slow and you start giving up 21 points and it's like 21-14, 21-10, at the end of the half, you got to start being careful. But I mean, it still worked out in the end. Of course, again, we didn't win, but still worked out. The defense still held them to 141 yards. So it's hard to judge, but you have to be careful about how slow they start. But yeah, I mean, it's just super unfortunate, but I'm very happy about this game. I don't want to say moral victory. It's a whole other thing. Moral victory. There's no such thing as a moral victory. You win or you lose. Simple as that. We lost the game, right? We lost. That's all. There's no moral victories. There's no we won in spirit. No, you lost the game. But you did a lot of things that I wanted to see, which was good defense efficiency, good offensive efficiency. You had good plays. A lot of these things, a lot of your rookies showed out. Dylan Sampson, Farron, right? You had a lot of these guys who showed out and proved to you and us as the fan that they are good on the team, right? And so while I won't say this is a moral victory, I'll say this is a good sign, all right? This worked out. We had a lot of good stuff going on, but I can't put this up as a victory, even if I was going to say moral victory, right? This still was a loss. But my mindset is it's one game. Every coach preaches to you. If you ever played high school football, college football, heck, if you were even somehow in the NFL, which is congratulations to you, that's insanely impressive. Every coach tells you, you might not even have played the NFL. You might have played basketball, baseball. Every coach tells you it's one game. We lost this one game. Every game is a new game. You don't take what happened last game and bring it over to this game. Every day is a new day. Every hour is a new hour. Every coach preaches that. And so you want to, most players are decent at distancing themselves from this. So as long as these players come in and learn and they take something away from this game and get better, that's what we want, right? So again, I won't say moral victory, but I will say that this is a good game that just didn't turn out in our favor. And while I wish it would have, it just sadly didn't work out for us, and we were unable to get our team to work this out. So again, it just was an unfortunate game, and well, I'm trying to. It just sucks, you know. Um, it just is an unfortunate game. Sorry, I'm asking a question to somebody talking about the Browns. But no, it's just unfortunate seeing what happened. And on the kicker, I'll talk about that briefly. Obviously, however you say his name, Shrek, I don't know. He's likely cut, unfortunately. It's not, that sucks for him, right? I'm very disappointed because, again, I feel him, right? He just had a bad game and now he's probably cut. So unfortunate for him, but again, we're here to win. We're not here to support a guy because he had a bad game. So he's likely out of his job, which again, very unfortunate. But he's likely out of a job. I think the Browns will have a new kicker by next week, and hopefully, again, you don't lose a game because of your kicker not being able to kick a field goal. And I mean, he missed the extra point, and we lost the game because of it, right? Even if we hadn't have made that field goal, we still lost the game because he did hit an extra point. So again, just mighty unfortunate from that. I really hope he finds success maybe somewhere else, but this is a big hash on his resume. If he ever wants to join another team, they will point to this and be like, "Are you better than that?" And so I feel for him, but again, the Browns. Every NFL team is here to win. If you're not actively getting the Browns or any team to a win, then we don't want you. And so it's the harsh reality of professional sports. But every team is here to win. Every team wants that fabled Super Bowl, NBA championship, NHL Cup, right? Everyone wants that. Stanley Cup, I mean. Everyone wants that. And so every player has to be the best in their position. Of course, you obviously can't get that, but the best you can get. So it's unfortunate for him, but again, we're here to win this game and win every game. So you need to be able to perform. And so, yes, unfortunately, that's likely his last game for the Browns. Maybe they'll keep him on the roster to give him another chance if our other kicker doesn't work out, but I find that very unlikely. So unfortunate to him because I would have liked, because again, it just sucks, but he lost us the game. I mean, we can't say what would have happened if we didn't get those interceptions because we don't know, but I can say what would have happened if we didn't miss the field goal. We would have won. So, because again, you can't predict what would have happened if we didn't throw the interceptions or throw. We didn't have the interceptions, right? I mean, you can't predict that simply because you don't know, right? That was the stopping point in whatever would have happened. But you miss a field goal, I know what's going to happen if you didn't have that, let that happen. You would have made the field goal. So, again, just an unfortunate game overall from the Browns. 16-17, Browns lose. Not really much else to say. Just sucks. I would have wished the Browns would have won that game. I mean, you just look at this game and you say this was fully winnable. This was our game to win. We did everything correctly. I mean, like looking at it, we did everything right. Sure, there was some mistakes here and there, but you don't play in the NFL and not have mistakes. That happens every game. So overall, final kind of thought here is just it's unfortunate to see. I would have liked the Browns to have done better. I hope one of my co-hosts joins because unfortunately, I don't know how long I'm supposed to be on here. I don't want to be on here for like an hour, but yeah, looking at it, 16-17, Browns lose again. Like I said, it just is, yes, you're right. We had 3 chances to win. We had the missed extra point, which would have sent us to overtime. Who knows what that would have entailed. You had the field goal that you missed. That was another missed extra point. It wasn't not missed extra point. Another chance. And then, I mean, it just was super unfortunate. So hopefully the Browns can bounce back from this, and hopefully they look at this game as a we did everything correctly. We just had bad luck in some certain places, and they look at this as in a positive mindset and bring themselves back next week against the next team and the team after that and the team after that. And they look at this game as a stepping stone into hopefully, obviously, winning the game, whether that be next week or the week after. So it's just an unfortunate event. I'm disappointed, but not much you can do about it. So I guess I'm just going to wrap it up here because unfortunately, I don't think anyone else is joining me. If they are, I don't know if I want to stay on any longer. But I guess we'll stay on for one or two more minutes. And yeah, Dustin Hopkins, obviously, that got brought up a few times. Why did we cut him, right? Why did we go for someone else? I don't know. Maybe Dustin Hopkins would have made that. Again, you don't know, right? That's the thing. You don't know if Dustin Hopkins would have made that. You don't know if he would have missed it. Dustin Hopkins might have missed them both. There's no guarantee. You wouldn't be able to know that. And so it's a very unfortunate game. We don't know what would have happened if we didn't throw his picks, if Dustin Hopkins was here, if the kicker could have made it. It's just how the NFL works. So bad game, just unfortunate, super disappointing. I would have liked to have seen them win this, but nothing you can do about it now. So 16-17, your final score. Bengals beat the Browns in our home stadium, which, again, unfortunate. But like I said, a lot of good stuff coming from it. So sucks, but that's all I really have. So hopefully you'll enjoy this post-game show. I'm part of Browns Breakdowns is my show here on the Fanatical Elves. So if you want to tune into that, I'll have a podcast Wednesday around 3 or 4 p.m. Central Time. I'll have my own podcast talking about the same game. So go over there, watch that. I'll probably be repeating a lot of the same things I said, but watch that one if you want. I mean, watch everyone's shows, right? You should listen to everybody's shows. There'll be a lot of post games coming out. So it's, again, unfortunate loss, but nothing you can do about it. So, we actually had something called post game. Interesting. I'll just play my outro. So hope you all enjoyed. Again, 16-17, Browns lose to the Bengals, and I'll talk to you guys on the next episode of whatever I'm on. So, peace. Oh, this is my intro. Whoops, wrong music.